Welcome to KGXT, Gen X Talks podcast, live from Central California.
Making plans with the boys. I'm gonna hit the town. Yeah, I'm gonna make some noise. I'll push past the pain and my wounded pride. I'm gonna live it up. Yeah, stay out all night. But sure, I've had some better times. And I can't count all the tears I can write. And maybe down my last time. Yeah, but the blues took me just fine.
Need to get done.
I said it was time to do. I said we could do it whenever you're ready.
Yeah, whatever.
That was the point. I didn't text you like, get out here. I texted you and said, whenever you're ready.
You weren't ready.
I was getting ready. I just needed you to get out here. You take so long to get ready to do stuff.
Oh my goodness.
You do.
Just start it.
It's been going. I'm recording already. I've been recording for 5 minutes.
I should know better by now.
You think you would?
I know. Yeah.
You absolutely ruin this when you yell at me in the beginning like, I don't know what's going on.
I ruin it.
You ruin it. You ruin everything.
No, not really.
But listen,
I'm the spice of life.
Wow. I'm not sure who's been lying to you lately, but we need to have a little talk.
Would you start the intro?
Welcome to the KGXT studios and the Gen X Talks podcast, broadcasting 200 feet below occupied California in the Central Valley. Brought to you by Loud Trouble LLC. Now, I want to say something new about them. You know, I mean, Loud One has crashed the Gen X Talks bottom of the glass school bus. He's ripped the steering wheel off and crashed the bus.
Yes.
He blew up an engine on his truck that he was driving.
Yes.
He's been moving concerts around the country. Now he's hustling side. I mean, I don't know where to begin with this guy. How do you introduce a guy like that? Do you just say, there's 52 jobs Loud Trouble LLC can do? Throw a deck of cards in the air and grab one before it hits the ground. Chances are Ian can get your job done. Is that what I say?
There you go. Wait till we decide to move someday. And we're going to call him up.
No, I'm not. I can't understand what he's saying. His Australian accent is so thick. He's going to come out and say, all right, you move it. Now it's on to take the outside and put it around the back and go to throw it on my truck and do driver close it. And I'm going to look at him and go, what the fuck did you just say? I have no idea what you're talking about.
We may end up in Australia.
We could. He goes, oh, I thought you wanted to move to Eastern Canada. No, I didn't.
That'll be interesting.
It is. He's got, Ian is one of those guys, and he's not 21 anymore. He's not on the younger side. Neither are we. And he's still taking.
Hey. Speak for yourself over there, okay?
Well, he's still taking risks to better himself and his family, and they're calculated. But he's got balls of steel when he does that.
That's cool.
And but he's got ambitions and stuff. So I like that about Loud Trouble LLC. Big city movers. Don't ask him to move your grandmother's furniture. He ain't doing it. No.
Okay.
Throw that in the back of a Datsun pickup and do it yourself.
So we're done with the intro?
I think so.
Are you sure?
Well, there's no more Datsun pickups. So that was probably dumb.
Well, you know what?
The intro's over. Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
Congratulations.
On what?
We passed a milestone.
Oh, we did. Yeah. Our youngest son finally turned 18.
That means all 8 kids are now over 18. Congratulations.
Congratulations. First of all, they all lived. None of them died.
That's right.
That's good for us, right?
Yeah.
That's good odds.
That's really good.
We are 8 for 8 with living.
That's right.
Now, how many graduated high school?
All of them.
All of them did?
Yeah. I was like, I had to think about
Yeah.
it, but yeah, all of them did.
We're 8 for 8 on graduating high school.
Yes.
We're 8 for 8 on all of them turning 18. That was good.
We are.
And we are 7 out of 8 of them moving out.
And 7 out of 8 over 21.
Yeah.
We are doing
we're rocking this. Nobody should question our parenting abilities. We've got the basics covered.
Ooh, yes. We made it.
I gave him the talk.
Yes, I know.
The 18-year-old talk. And many of you know, listening to the program for the past few years, is every kid, when they turn 18, their gift is Samsonite luggage. They get a one-way bus ticket anywhere they'd like to go and a $100 bill. Push all their shit out on the curb and go, there you go, I'm done. Do what you want in life. There it is. So he was, there you go, yawning again. Jesus, H tap dancing Christ. You said it was the studio, but you were yawning last night during the pumpkin carving too.
Once.
So I sat the kid down, and I didn't give him the usual speech. He thought it was coming. In fact, all his brothers and sisters called in and said, "Did Dad give you the speech? Did he tell you?" And they called me, "Did you tell him the speech? Did you put him out on the curb? Did you get Samsonite luggage?" I narrowed it down to something real simple for our last one, mainly because I'm exhausted. I can't keep doing this anymore. So I condensed it. I gave the Cliff Note version of the speech.
Yeah.
And I just asked him a simple question.
What's that?
Why should I keep you in this house, in this family? I'm not obligated to. California law, I'm done with you. I don't have to do this.
Right.
Why should I let you stick around? And he basically just looked at me and very calmly and says, because you and Mom need me around here. I do a lot for you guys he didn't call us old, but he pointed out that there's a lot of stuff we don't do as easily as we used to. We don't get as much done as we used to. And he says, I take care of a lot. I do a lot for you guys. And that's, he does contribute. And I'll tell you, there's been other, and you can attest to this, there's been other kids I've sat on that curb and said, why should I let you in the house? You disrespect your mother. You're not obedient. You don't do your chores correctly. All you want to do is play video games all day. You're not productive. You don't contribute anything. Why should I let you stay? And the kids always tell me the same thing. Well, we're family. We're family. What, Dad, we're family. You should let me stay. And I quickly point out, really? Where was the whole family when I told you to be nice to your mother? Where was family when I said, do your chores correctly, contribute, pull your weight around here, you're family. You didn't seem to think family was worth much then, but now that you're on the curb, all of a sudden, wait, family's very important. That argument doesn't fly. I have kicked a couple kids out and said, too late. You can't just pull the family card now that you want to stay. You should, if family was important, you'd have been respecting your mother and helping her for the past 2 or 3 years. This kid, Gen Z kid, he didn't give a bullshit answer. His answer was very straightforward, looked me right in the eye, was very calm, and was pitching it like, listen, I'm trying to be better every day. I'm contributing. I'm pulling my weight. I'm doing as much as I can. And to be fair, the little bit of things that he has left to work on, improve in his life, are the things you can work on. You can teach someone to be a little more thorough. You can teach someone to show up on time. You can teach those things. I can't teach him to be a good person. You know who I'm thinking of right now? I'm thinking of the 2 people taking their morning walk, listening to our podcast. And they're up there in Reno walking right now, and I'm reminding them to think of their boys. And no matter what you guys have to work on with your boys, do they kick stray dogs? No. Are they mean to neighborhood kids? No. The things that you want built into your children as they begin to get to be 18, you know as a parent, if you have a Sid from Toy Story Kid, and our son is the opposite of that. He stands up for what's right. He loves animals. He loves all his brothers and sisters. He does a good job. Those are the things you can't teach anymore.
Yes.
They're either built into them or they're not. So he passed his test. I let him stay. I found out a few things I wasn't happy about. It was it was a coming to Jesus meeting for me too. I was like, whoa, I don't need to know that stuff. But I got over it. We're working on it. But he's a good kid. He's one of our best kids. He's got a good heart, so we're keeping him around.
All right.
So he did pass his 18th milestone, our 18th milestone, and the kid got the lecture and came through with flying colors. So I think I'm happy and pleased and moving on.
All right. Awesome.
I will say one thing I'm upset about, not with him.
Oh, we're moving on to a different topic now?
Sort of. His birthday came and went.
Yes.
Now, you got to remember, this kid, every time one of his brothers and sisters has a birthday, he gets up at midnight and texts them, happy birthday. First, he wanted to be the first one right after midnight. Mm-hmm. He does it with 7 brothers and sisters. Everyone he's got a phone number for, he does that. Do you know how many of them remembered his birthday?
I don't recall.
1. One sister wished him a happy birthday. Every other brother and sister didn't even bother.
I thought one messed up the day and did it the next day.
I don't know. I know that, well, really there was 2. But I go, hey kid, there was 2. He goes, no, you told the other sister it was my birthday. You told her to call. I guess he heard me call.
Oh.
And I said, hey, it's his birthday. Don't forget it. He heard that. So he's like, now hers doesn't count because you made her do it. So that bummed me out about, I thought I raised my kids better than that. But
I don't think this generation does that. And I don't know if we failed it about birthdays. Like, I remember, like, when I moved out of the house, I got everybody's birth date. My grandparents. What is that? Hey, shut off your phone.
It's coming through. There's somebody.
Shut off your phone.
They're talking in Discord. I can't shut it off. It's as low as volume as it'll go.
You can't shut your phone off? You just yelled at me. I'm not allowed to have my phone, but your phone is going off during the podcast.
I can't do it during Bixby calls.
Unbelievable.
All I can do is throw the phone away. Okay, phone's away.
Unbelievable.
I don't know. They're talking in Discord. It's coming through my phone.
Doesn't matter.
I'm not on the phone.
You were on my case about you can't be on your phone.
Because you look at your phone.
You just looked at your phone.
During the podcast, you look at your phone. You're looking down.
And your phone just went off, too.
It didn't go off. There was someone speaking on it.
Unbelievable.
That is a person reaching out for help. And I had to just...
they weren't.
You don't know that. They could have been having a heart attack.
No, they weren't.
Someone could have been yelling, please call 911. And you're begrudging that person my communication.
So let's go back to what I was saying. I don't know if we failed in this area, because I remember when I moved out on my own.
You're talking about calling on birthdays?
Or just remembering people's birthdays, okay? I remember when I moved out, I went to my mom and even my mom's calendar and wrote down my grandparents' birthdays, my mom and dad, anniversaries. I wrote them all down. I don't think this generation does that.
Okay, we have one daughter who does it every time. She never misses anything. She's the millennial who's going to marry the guy that I very much approve of and like.
Yeah.
And they moved north for a little bit while he's in training. She never misses anything, ever. She's like you. Now, we have 3 other daughters that it's just fly by night. You have no idea if they're ever going to remember anything. And then every son we have, the 3 sons that it never remember.
That's why you get a wife.
That's why you get a wife. That's the reason.
That's why you get a wife.
Keep track of your shit.
But I'm just I just remembered getting those dates down, and then if you didn't if birthday cards weren't $10 now to send a birthday card,
right,
but
now
they can text.
They can text, they can call.
I know.
And none of them do. But our son does. You know what? This shows you the big heart he's got, even though 7 of them didn't even bother to say anything.
Yeah.
That will not change what he does for them.
No, it's not.
Even a little bit.
I just think it's just kind of strange how we've gotten impersonal with so much stuff when we have the ability to be personable. Does that make sense? And what I just said?
That's the reason that a card, like you said, a Hallmark card, I know it's $10, but when you receive something in the mail, that means they drove down to the mall, they went into the Hallmark store, they picked out a card, they filled it out, they put it in an envelope with a stamp, and they mailed it.
Right.
That effort, you could never compare a text or an email to that effort.
I agree.
It's just, that's really something special.
But at least it's something that
I
even
know,
if it's a
I agree.
text or an email, it's still recognizing that.
But they want to be recognized on their birthday. Let me tell you, if the other 7 kids didn't get something on their birthday, they'd be pissed. They'd be calling home going, nobody remembered my birthday.
I know, especially me.
Yeah.
Especially me. Let me tell
especially you. You'd be a baby if people forgot your birthday?
No, they would be upset if I forgot their birthday.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're the mom.
Because, for example, our daughter was visiting, last weekend or a weekend before, and she went home and she left her dress in the downstairs.
This is so funny, yeah.
The downstairs bedroom or bathroom.
Yeah.
And she texted me. She goes, Mom, can you mail it to me? Because she's now
big deal.
2 hours away from us. So I put it in a thing, and you
mailed it.
I mailed it. She received it. She was like, Mom, she called me and she goes, Mom, I was really mad at you. I'm like, what? I sent you the dress. She goes, I didn't get any little special note. I thought you were going to put a note. That's who you are. You always put a note in something.
Because you do that with every kid. You're the wife who used to put notes in my lunches all the time.
Then she takes the dress out of the bag, and the dress unravels, and 2 Halloween candies come out, and she starts laughing. She said she laughed so hard.
You had one for her and one for her guy. That was funny, and that's great.
And she goes, and then I had to apologize, Mom, that she remembered. So
the kids do get used to you doing all of the special things. You went out of your way for every holiday. We used to decorate the outside of the house. We'd have for Halloween, we'd had things that flew through the air. We had music, we had lights. Christmas is the same way. You decorate the entire house for Christmas. It's so special. So yeah, they miss it when you don't do something.
So this year I was going through the Halloween stuff, and since we don't have any little kids running around for Halloween, I used to decorate the whole house, like you said, but I also did a really special dinner, funny stuff like, witch's fingers and brain jello. And I made it really big before they went out trick-or-treating. So I'm not doing that anymore, but our older son said they were having a Halloween party this weekend.
Right.
And so as I'm going through stuff, I'm like, I'm not going to use this anymore.
Right.
And I didn't want to throw it away. So I put it in a box and I taped it and I mailed it and I sent him the thing. And I said, do you remember when I used to do dinners before Halloween? He goes, oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
Oh, the kids would, it was usually, depending on what day of the week the 31st fell on, they'd come home from school running in the door. What did you fix today? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I sent his little care package. So most of it's like platters, and I sent him the mold for the brain jello and cups that were called. So he's going to use them this weekend. So that's kind of cool.
Why do you keep saying he when he's married?
He's not married. It's not our married son.
You said our oldest son. You keep saying our oldest son.
One of our oldest sons. Sorry.
Oh, all right.
And then our daughter was here last weekend, and I gave her some of the Halloween decorations.
I thought it was funny. You gave her, our daughter who was just here, you gave her decorations in a box. You gave her molds and things for food in a box. And they're going home in a pickup truck.
Right.
And her husband's all, why are you taking this crap? We don't got room for all this stuff. He's like, my mom gave us free Halloween decorations, and you don't want to pay for Halloween decorations. I'm taking it. And he's like, yeah, fine, put it in the very back of the truck.
Yeah.
If it blows out on Interstate 5, I don't care.
And she was because it was nostalgic. It was like, this is part of my childhood. So what's really cool that it's getting reused,
That's good. Well, we can move on from those days with happiness. We did our part.
We did.
We raised all the kids. We made their holidays enjoyable. We did our part.
I'll still decorate, but at a lower scale than what I did before.
No, we're not young anymore. We don't have to be hanging upside down from the chandeliers putting stuff up. No.
So we're talking about Halloween. Do you remember Halloween when we were growing up?
Wait, one more thing. So now the Gen Z kid wants to go out and decorate the front yard for Halloween.
Yeah.
So he's starting to get into it. He's getting pumped. The more I'm like, no, I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to spend the money. I'm not buying stuff. But he comes up, he's getting more pumped. I'm getting more pumped. This is a legit question. He goes, okay, Dad, I just need permission. Can I put some lag bolts into the side of the house?
Oh my goodness.
I said, no. Okay.
Well, maybe.
Where do you want to? Hold on. Be specific, son. I'm with you. I'm tracking with you.
I'm surprised he hasn't asked what the lag bolt is on the very top second thing.
Yeah, at the very apex of the house, there's an eye bolt that we used to run a cable.
Our poor son that had to crawl all the way up to the apex and lean over. The other one, that's why I was bringing up the old, past Halloweens. You had him shimmy up the street light pole.
I did.
To the top to hang a cable.
I needed a cable to go 150 feet bolted to the top of our house to the top of the street light. And we couldn't get it where we wanted it on the street light. So, yeah, we had to...
Well, you guys kept trying to throw
it over, but get it in this right spot. It was really tough. But, yeah, one winter, I said, just crawl up there.
He did.
He's like, I can't do it. I said, you're going to do it. I'm going to kick your ass. Now, get at the fucking pole. So he climbed all the way up the street light, which at the bottom of the street light, it's so big around, he had to bear hug it. And and bear hug is all the way up. But we did it.
He did. He climbed the pole just with his clothes on. It was amazing. Just so you could have a little Halloween
Parenting 101. We're doing it right.
Because you loved Halloween.
And all the kids were like, the girls, my daughters were all, can you attach something to city property, Dad? All my sons are like, don't worry about it. Dad knows what he's doing.
And I just look at the girls and go, most likely not, but
you gathered up the girls like, just let Dad go.
Just let him Halloween. Go. Halloween's one of his favorite holidays. Just let him go. But I was bringing up the question about Halloween when we grew up. Our costumes weren't elaborate. We used to go down to the 5 and dime. Remember the plastic?
It was those plastic
masks.
faces that used to heat up. You couldn't talk through them. You couldn't see through them.
No,
they
but you were
got
expected
hot
to walk in the dark,
in the dark. Yeah,
down the street,
through traffic.
over a curb.
Yeah, and don't lose don't bump into shit and lose your
Not
shit.
half the time, not on a sidewalk.
No, it was bad. It was really bad.
But and they were ugly as shit.
They
weren't
were. They had like a little pre-printed, looked like a trash bag you put your arms through, and then a stupid mask with a string that always broke.
And you were supposed to look like Wonder Woman or a
Porky
princess.
Pig or something dumb.
But did your parents ever make you a costume? Like one year I went as a hobo. Like I had like makeup that gave me a beard, and I wore my dad's like suit jacket.
I don't think I ever had a homemade costume.
Oh my
ever.
God. I think that was the last minute my mom went, oops, it's
My
Halloween.
my mom wouldn't give candy to teenagers that just showed up late with a pillowcase.
Yeah.
And like, hey, knock knock, trick or treat. And they always come late.
Yes.
They didn't even bother wearing a costume. They just wanted candy. My mom would sit there and go, I don't think so. My dad would come to the door. What are you supposed to be? And they're like, well, I didn't really wear a costume. My dad just shut the door. Like, you're done. Get out.
Oh, my mom didn't either. My mom and dad didn't do it.
No, you don't participate. You don't get shit.
They've started doing that at our house the last few years. I've seen them.
You know,
when they come late.
I'll tell you, there was 2 times in my life when Halloween was scary, not for costumes. One was when I first remember being like 7, maybe 7 or 8 years old, and my mom wouldn't let me have the candy. She had to check all the candy.
Oh, yeah.
She had to pull it, and she started telling me stories. She goes, well, you know this apple you have here? There could be a razor blade inside the apple. Boy, razor blades and apples scared the shit out of me my entire life.
Yes.
I could be 16 and I'm going to bite into an apple going, could be a razor blade in here.
Yeah, we didn't have the like whatever the drugs in it. We had razor blades. We had sharp objects.
Yeah, they would do stuff like that, or you never know. You got to look for these wrappers, make sure there's no pre-opened candy. And I
Right.
go, what for? Someone could have put rat poison in it. I'm like, really? What does rat poison look like? Now I'm panicking with my candy.
I know.
So that was when I was a kid, 70s, early 80s, and by then I was kind of not doing it. And then when you start hearing again, it was I'm going to get the year wrong maybe. And I'm sure this hit the whole country, but this started in Southern California.
What was it?
Okay, let me just.
Let's see if I remember.
Okay, I'll let you guess the product. Okay.
Okay.
Do you remember? And this has to do with tampering with candy. Do you know that everything we have has a safety lid on it now?
Yes.
Everything has a peel back thing. Even a bottle of water, you break loose the ring so you know if the water has been opened.
Right.
Everything in America has a safety seal on it of some kind.
Right.
Do you know why? Do you remember what happened in 1985 that started killing people and sent shockwaves through the country? And every product began putting safety things on it. But there was one company, one object that did it. And it happened in the summer. And the following Halloween, everybody was panicking about candy the following Halloween.
I don't
Now, see, there's people out there
recall.
guessing right now. They're
I know,
listening.
and I can't recall. I'm trying to think. Was it a candy bar?
No,
I don't remember.
Tylenol. It was Tylenol. Somebody had opened a bottle of Tylenol and injected something into it, and the pills, and someone ate it and got sick. They started tracking it down, and then another bottle of Tylenol across town.
Oh, I think
and
I
then
do
another
remember
bottle of Tylenol.
that.
There was a big Tylenol scare. I think it was
Yeah.
85. And then all of a sudden they started, Tylenol's like, we're going to put safety seals.
Tamper-proof things,
Yeah,
yeah.
tamper-proof stuff. Well, the following Halloween, now I was 17 by then, but boy, the shockwaves through candy. No parents wanted they thought if you can do it to Tylenol, you can certainly
Yeah.
do it to candy.
Candy bars. They can inject
Everything.
a candy
They
bar.
were just.
Yeah.
It was. That was a.
I do
85.
remember that.
The Halloween of '85 was a tough one for candy for people.
I have one more when I was an adult. Yeah, adult. 18, 19. I'm going to say adult loosely.
Yeah.
I did the West Hollywood Halloween run one time.
Who'd you go with?
Oh, my girlfriend, Michelle.
Oh my God, that girl got you in more trouble.
We went down there. I was shocked. That was the one and only time I've ever been down there.
I went down to Hollywood Boulevard as a teenager once on Halloween and once on New Year's, and Halloween was way scarier.
Yes.
I have never seen anything like that in my life.
It was two girls. Us two girls went down there.
Yeah, I'm surprised
I don't even
you
know
guys
if my
made it
parents
back.
know. Well,
I went down there with my girlfriend at the time, and here I am, thinking I'm a badass motherfucker. And I went down there and went, nope.
Nope.
I am not tough enough
I think
to be
it's
down
worse
here.
because everybody was in costume too. So it's not like you can know the good and the bad.
No, and you couldn't
or
size
the ugly.
No, you couldn't size
The
anybody
hobo
up.
on the street corner blended in just perfectly fine.
Yeah, there's a dude coming at you looking
Yeah.
all like a clown, could have been a ninja, and you'd never know.
Yeah, it was
bad.
it was an interesting. We were there for a while. I mean, early it was okay. We kind of went, early. When I say early, like 8, 9 o'clock. But as it got even later, it got even creepier.
Well, we were down there around midnight. My
Yeah.
girlfriend and I. My girlfriend's like, "Oh, you could just keep walking. It's fine. I'm with you." And I'm like, "Okay, I can't protect me down here, let alone you." And I'm sure my car is getting the rims taken off of
That's
it
what we said.
where I
We
parked.
could-
So
That's what we said. We're gonna have to figure out where we parked
Yeah.
because we're talking hundreds of people. Too.
thousands
It's like
for sure.
it's like from you can't even drive
You
a
didn't.
car
You
down
didn't
the
park
street.
off of Hollywood. You parked 6 blocks off of Hollywood. Yeah.
And so when you get deeper into the wave of people, you had to go, oh, where did we park the car?
In fact,
And-
come to think of it, I don't think I was on Hollywood Boulevard. I think I was on Sunset, if I remember right.
No, West Hollywood.
It was just bad.
Yeah.
It was really super bad.
And no cell phones.
Nope.
So you had to figure out.
I left. After a while, I'm like, look, we just got to get out of here.
So
we
did
gotta
we.
Go.
We were like, yeah, well, this was fun. So, yeah.
Not doing that again.
Oh, good times, good times.
All right. So we spent a lot of time on the kid in Halloween. We're 25 minutes into this boring podcast. It's interesting
not
for
boring.
us. Who's going to think talking about our kid is interesting at all? This isn't
Whatever.
interesting. even
So
a little
you
bit.
started doing interviews. How do you like being an interviewer?
It's hard. I didn't.
bet.
I didn't realize when you're the person conducting the interview how much the flow of things relies on you. I didn't know this. I mean, you can think about it. You could, well, stupid. Of course, it relies on you. Of course but it's different when you actually have to do it.
Yeah.
So, the first big interview I did was Rudy Law, former baseball player, and we talked for an hour and a half. I just now went to edit it, and my microphone is echoey. I don't know what I did wrong. The kid was helping me. We did it together, and we're thinking we ruined it. It was so much fun to do. And I'll tell you, that was my very first interview. I had some questions lined up. The kid was producing the show, so he had some things to put up on the screen. We showed a clip of Rudy sliding into home against the Yankees one time and getting called out. And I'm like, well, you missed the plate. You overran third base by a block and a half. Of course you were late to the plate. And then you slid your foot off and we argued and bantered. And it was funny. So it was a good interview, I thought. But at the end of it, I got the ultimate compliment from Rudy. Rudy said, that was the smoothest interview I've ever done in my life.
Oh, that was nice of him.
He said, you didn't stutter with, can I, you didn't, he goes, then he stood up where you're sitting. He stood up and he looked over at my work area. He goes, you don't have any papers down there. I said, no. Was I supposed to? He goes, I've never been in an interview where someone didn't take notes. He goes, you didn't have any notes. I said, no. I said, I kind of knew the order of stuff, and I really wanted you to do more of the talking. So he gave me a lot of confidence that I could do the interview part better. The next one I did was with Bruce Chandler from KIQQ Radio. That was a lot tougher to get through.
I was going to say, I bet you it goes from person to person depending on their engagement.
And I thought I was going to knock it out of the park because here I am going into this, talking about, and then all of a sudden, I'm listening to him kind of list his resume on where he did, but I was trying to wedge in stories at each place, and it didn't flow the way I wanted it to.
He wasn't coming across as the DJ.
No, and I think I don't say he messed it up or I messed it up. It was one of those situations that didn't click as well as I wanted it to. The third interview I did was with a staff sergeant in the Marine Corps who had quite a bit of interesting stories to tell. And I realized in that interview, I played it back, although I think it was a great interview, I talked too much. I would spend 3 minutes building this question for a 1 minute answer. Then 3 minutes of me building a question. I was like, when I listened to it, I'm like, oh my God, I need to learn to shut the fuck up. I talked way, way too much for an interview.
Well, you're learning, and that's why you're doing it now before the radio station.
Yeah,
you're
it
getting
is.
it in the practice and everything. So
So we're getting
Okay.
hate mail about the interviews.
hate mail?
Yeah, we got mail because I made the mistake of I put a couple of the interviews. One we did a world show with Ian, remember Loud One?
Yeah.
And he was here in person in studio. So and I took the audio of the world show we did and I edited it down and made it an audio podcast.
Yeah.
So that was technically an interview. And I put it up in the middle, in between the podcast you and I put up.
Oh.
And people are emailing us going, oh, you're changing your format. I'm here for the mom and dad podcast. This sucks. I'm leaving. I'm quitting. If you're going to start doing interviews. And I'm like, they're not taking the place of our podcast. We still have our podcast dropping every Friday, but in between, if we haven't.
Specials.
Yeah. If we sprinkle in something and they're like, no, if you're doing that, I'm leaving. So now I have to do some stupid disclaimer every interview going, this is not a regular podcast. This is not taking the place of our podcast. This is something special.
Didn't you change like the picture or
I
don't
did,
you
yeah.
do like, you know, where the wording is and go special podcast?
Every time. Two Bears on staff and Two Bears said, look, dude, they should get this.
Yeah.
You label it different. You title it different. He goes, they're a bunch of crybabies, but I'm trying to facilitate everybody.
Right.
It's just, we got a little hate mail because we were changing the format.
So,
yeah. Anything in the headlines?
no, I don't have any headlines this week, but do you remember after my cancer and I got through it, we started doing LLS, which is Leukemia and Lymphoma Society Light the Night.
Yeah.
It's that time of year again.
Oh, that's right. That we did. For a couple years after you got past cancer, we did quite a bit.
They
with them.
came looking for us or
well,
me.
for you, yeah.
I guess for me. And do you remember when I was their special guest speaker one year? It was
did the Light the Night. You were on microphone at the Riverwalk, and you walked.
So nervous.
You did the walk with all the candles and everybody, the lights that everybody held.
Yeah,
it was a
very
big
cool
production.
thing. It's a big production every year. It's a nationwide organization, but then it has centrally located. We have one
chapters,
here at
let's say.
Chapters at the Central Valley, and they host a Light the Night walk here in our town. And they asked me to do a speech, and I was so nervous. Do you remember that night? I didn't do speeches.
No, is this the one where you had the microphone at Riverwalk?
Yes.
I do remember that, yeah.
I was so nervous. My whole family came out. We had like 30 people walking.
There was 1,000 people there that night, for sure.
Yes, but we had personally.
Oh, yeah,
I had like
a lot of friends and family
that came from far away to do the Light the Night walk.
to walk with you.
Well, then one of the last ones we did, I couldn't go on. I had done so many speeches. That was the first one.
Oh, is this the one at the fairgrounds?
Yeah, but remember, we did quite a few.
You did a bunch of them, but that was a big one for you. You were supposed to knock that one home.
I froze. Remember that? I froze at the
You wouldn't
fairgrounds.
come out of the audience when it was your turn to go up on stage.
I could. Well, part of it was that we were telling the story over and over again, and it's although it ended in a happy ending, it's a very hard emotional journey for me every single time I talk about it.
It's an emotional story every single time.
Yeah. And when you say it multiple times, when it's still fresh, it draws me back into that dark place.
Yeah.
And so that one day I just was, I can't say the story anymore.
I was simply going to tell you were kind of the keynote speaker. You were finishing the all the stuff that had been going on. You were supposed to walk up on stage and tell this story. And then you didn't want to. You just go, I'm not going.
And I believe it was my year, wasn't it? Wasn't that?
It was to the day. No, it was to the day of, was it 2 years or 3 years?
No, I thought it was no, it wasn't a year.
It was more than that.
It was a milestone.
It was a milestone, and it was to the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you made me go up there.
I did.
You're like, you go do it. And I'm like, oh, no, thank you, no.
But I liked your version. You gave the version of when somebody in the family gets cancer, everybody gets cancer. To some degree, yes. Because it affects everybody within miles. It doesn't have to be just your immediate family. It trickles down effect to everybody in your family.
Well, and that was the thing I was trying to point out at the beginning of when you told me to give the speech. What I told them was I just started by saying that. I said, some of you are here in the audience because you have cancer or you had cancer. But some of you are here are supporting people. And it's important to know that anytime someone gets cancer in the family, everybody gets cancer. to some degree, your life is now changed because of cancer. That's the way I started it. So it was a little bit different take.
Yeah. So it was so overwhelming. They had me wanting to do speeches after speech after speech. We backed away from the whole situation. Remember, we stopped doing speeches.
I spent 2 months telling everybody no thank you because they kept calling.
Yes. So Light the Night is still going on.
Yeah.
And it always reaches out to me, and we're doing Light the Night again here in town. I think it's this weekend, I believe.
Right.
But I'm not physically going to walk. I am doing it personally through their organization. They're doing this Light the Night walk 6,000 steps each day in November. With the lifestyle change that I've started, I've been able to start walking again. And this is both a personal challenge for me, but also a personal challenge for leukemia as a fight for leukemia. So on our Facebook page and some of our other things, I've put up an LLS Leukemia and Lymphoma Society Light the Night donation page, where if you want to sponsor me to walk my 6,000 steps a day in November, I would.
But this goes to them. This money doesn't go to us.
It does not go to
It doesn't come to us and then we turn it over to them. It goes straight to them.
It goes straight to
this. Is kind of a neat segue because we're talking about the interviews.
Yes.
That we've been doing, trying to get ready for the radio station. And we're talking about cancer, your cancer. And now we're talking about your lifestyle change.
Yes.
We are going to have Dr. McDreamy come down here, who was extremely influential, instrumental in your cancer survival at that time.
Yes.
So you'll be here, I'll be here, he will be here in studio. Between the three of us, we're going to walk through a complete interview of your cancer.
We're going to say that story.
And the two miracles that happened that got you into magazines and doctor's notes all over the world.
Yes.
True story. And then we're going to bring in his wife, who has now put you on a path the last few months that has changed you completely. I can look at you and go, my wife is much better.
Yes.
My wife is a changed person. This interview is more for us than anybody, but we're going to let everybody in on it. It's going to tie together the interview process, the cancer story that everyone's been waiting for 3 years, and it's going to culminate with his wife and her medical training methods on what has changed you, all in one big interview. Maybe might even be 2 parts, but they're going to come down here and stay for a weekend, and we're just going to record it all and then put it together.
Yeah, this is a 10-year journey. I'm coming up on my 10-year anniversary of being cancer-free. So this has been a 10-year journey of just trying to find life after cancer too. I mean, it's been
tough.
It's been really a hard journey. So anyway, so Light the Night and the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society has been a big portion of our life. And I just wanted to help other people that are out there. They're finding different treatments now. It's constantly just out of all cancers. It's
which is good. So I tied that all together for you so you could get the whole picture of what we're talking about. It's a big deal.
We'll be doing that in November. We have
a date set?
Dates. No, dates have not. We're working on it.
All right. All I know is Dr. McDreamy says in the evening, can we sit out by the fire? He wants to. He made a comment about sitting out by the fire pit and having a few drinks and cigars. Absolutely.
Yep. Just hanging out together.
There was lots of good and lots of bad, of course, when you went through cancer. I think the thing that follows me that's bad about it is every time you and I get into a fight, an argument where I'm thinking right, you're thinking left, I'm thinking up, you're thinking down, you always throw out there, but did you die?
Because I can.
I know, but that's not fair. You can't always go, look, did you die? No, I didn't die. Okay, then don't talk to me. Then you can't say anything until you've died. Well, I haven't died.
Well,
that doesn't
sorry.
count. No.
I can one-up you on that one.
Yeah, but you use it all the time.
I do not use it all the time.
Okay, serious arguments you do. When you're losing, you do.
When it's important. When it's important and I need to drop that.
Yeah, all right. Whatever.
Gosh.
Can we move on now? God bless it.
What do you want to talk about now?
I don't know. It's the most boring podcast we've ever put out.
Would you stop? You always think every single time it's boring.
This is not.
Nobody's going to listen to it.
People are fast forwarding through this stuff.
They are not.
Okay. Well, let's see how many people leave comments then.
Okay. So we got to be like 45 minutes in. So I think it's time for a car story.
What?
You always
do a car story?
Yes. Come on. You have so many.
Is there any other thing to talk about at all? I mean, is there current events? Is there?
No.
There's got to be something other
No.
than stupid car stories.
They love your car
Your car stories are supposed to go to the end.
I get emails all the time for me not to do anything.
All right, whatever. Car story. The one that
You want to think about it for a little bit?
Well, you make it sound like you got nothing else to talk about, so I'm going to have to say something. I'd love to think about it, but we can't just have dead air. Here, everybody. Everyone go do something
All right,
for a few...
I'll change the subject.
What?
How you doing on Pigskin Pick'em?
Oh, so you pick something that you're whooping my ass at. That's where
I'm
you
just
went?
coming up with something else.
You're
If
just
you want
gonna-
to wait on the car story, we'll go there.
It's like you're sitting beside me with a baseball bat going, tell the car story. And if you don't, we got something else to talk about.
That's what
And you
happens.
go,
Pick.
you go
Choose.
whack, and you hit
Choose.
me in the leg and go, all right, let's talk about how your leg feels.
Pigskin Pick'em or car story?
And then you're going to
your
hit me in
choice.
the shoulder and go, we can talk about something new. How's your shoulder feel?
Go ahead.
I don't know. You keep hitting me with the big stick. It hurts.
And you're still deflecting.
Because I went from 29th place
Come on.
to like 14th to 11th.
Come on.
We were tied at 7th.
Come on.
And now I'm way behind you again. I had a
Where are
bad
you at?
weekend.
Wait. Where are you?
14th.
Oh, you're at 14.
Where are you?
7th.
Okay.
I've been holding back. Hey, I'm not fluctuating all over the board. I'm staying pretty consistent.
Because you don't take any risks.
Bullshit.
You don't take any risks.
Oh, that you know of.
Look, you know what? I go with my gut. I'm a real American. Okay, I'm not using
my
statistics and
goodness.
charts
Here we
and
go.
flow graphs and all that shit. I'm doing it right.
What, you close your eyes and move your finger back and forth and then stop on the one you're going to pick?
No.
Wow, that's scientific.
Come on, you got to give me more credit than that. I'm not even throwing a dart at a dartboard, man. I'm using scientific reason. I got formulas in my head that go on.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
You're lucky I'm not drawing all over the bathroom shower in my pigskin pick'em stuff, trying to figure out which team and whether the.
You need to stop doing that.
I just said I didn't do it. I'm not using pigskin pick'em on the inside of the shower.
Well, there's other stuff in there. You need to stop writing.
Okay.
Stop drawing. Stop writing.
Listen.
Stop. It's really hard to clean.
Okay. I'm sorry, but listen.
No, you're not.
The only time I've done it like this last week, I did it 2 days in a row because I was designing something, and you can't have a pencil and a piece of paper in the shower.
Designing in the shower.
Okay. Do you remember last week we were talking about the coat hangers and how the coat hangers have those weird hooks on them and everything's stupid?
Oh, man. Here
now
we go.
listen. No, I thought of something. You got to listen to me here. Okay. I know you're flumping a little bit about with your stuff but listen. So the main thing was when I pull my shirt off the hanger in the closet that it gets hooked on that stupid hook. And I wanted you to buy different coat hangers that were smooth. But still, the coat hanger pivots, does it not? Doesn't it tilt when Pivot! When it grabs, when I go to grab a shirt, it tilts and it snaps off. Fine. It's a poing, coat hanger spins around and we're good. I get it. And when it has a little hook, it doesn't let go and it breaks. So smooth coat hangers spin
What
around.
does this have to do with the shower?
Because in the shower, I designed a coat hanger with little springs and pivot points on the ends of the coat hanger that they fold. When you grab your shirt and you just want to rip it out of the closet, the end of the coat hanger, the end is on a little tiny spring and a rivet, and it folds down so that it lets go of your shirt really soon.
Do you know you're not supposed to pull your shirts off a hanger?
I'm just letting you know that's how I do it. I cannot be the only guy who breezes through the closet and grabs a shirt and pulls it off there and goes through his day. So I designed a coat hanger that the far end of the triangle of the coat hanger would collapse, let your shirt off, and then pong back into position.
Oh my gosh. And that's what was on the shower?
That's what I was drawing.
Okay, you need to stop.
Well, where am I? If I have the idea in the shower, where am I supposed to do that?
I don't
See,
know.
you're just,
I'm sure there's some gadget now for.
You are stifling my creativity.
There's probably a waterproof board you can put for your shower now. I bet you there is.
Like you'd allow one of those in your shower.
That's a new invention. A waterproof note board for the shower.
So if I'd have drawn that on the glass, I'd have been okay?
No, on the board, not the glass.
You're stifling my creativity. You know that is.
I'm stifling your creativity.
Yeah, you're thinking right now. You're trying to be upset.
I'm not.
You're trying to have that look like you're disappointed, but inside you're like, my husband is a goddamn genius.
Let's go with that one.
Right now, you're thinking, how does he come up with this cool shit? Inventor. Look at me.
You keep thinking that.
And think the word inventor.
I think more MacGyver.
Okay, but MacGyver only does it like a one-off. I'm talking about production. I'm talking about a Fortune 500 company built on a collapsible hangar.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's brilliance, man. And then you stifle me. Okay, fine, whatever.
All right.
I'm still good with that.
I do have a headline, by the
What?
way. While you were jabbering, I thought of something.
Okay.
And it's kind of funny because I was thinking you, shower, Pornhub,
You were thinking about Pornhub while I was in the shower.
Well, why are you
I'm
talking?
flattered.
Because I just read something that this morning it came across the news that Pornhub, which I know you visit regularly, is getting sued.
Why would you think I would know anything about Pornhub being sued?
Because
Why would you associate that with me at all?
Because I know you.
No.
It's free porn.
Well, nothing's free.
They're getting sued for hidden cameras.
Okay. What do you want me to do if I comment on it? Then you're going to think, see, you knew.
So,
Yeah, they're.
you know.
Maybe I read
knew
the same.
I knew it.
Maybe I read the same article as you. They have to.
Right. You read the same article.
It just popped up. I was looking at.
Oh yeah, it popped up. Something did while you were on Pornhub.
They're getting sued because what happens if you have a hidden camera and you film yourself having sex and you post it, the other person did not give consent.
Well, yeah. If they don't know.
Well, and there's a big battle over whether that's like, but I'm posting myself having sex.
Yeah, but it's not consensual.
Well,
is that what they're saying? That's why I read it.
There's a big thing out there about like if you put out, the privacy issues on the internet and copyright. In other words, you can put a picture out there and say, I own that picture and it's mine. Whatever the picture, it can be a picture of a car. It's my picture of the car. It's my picture. You can't use that. It's intellectual property. And that's true. But basically the rule of thumb on the planet Earth is you put it out on the internet, it's going to go everywhere.
Oh, for sure.
And you can never claim intellectual property for the 10 million people that use it. So that's been a huge fight the whole time, which is why everybody watermarks pictures. So you can't just, because I go to put pictures up on Gen X Talk stuff all the time, and if I type in something that says old man pointing his finger with a beard or something, the best pictures I come up with on the internet that I'd like to use all have watermarks on them for some company.
Yeah.
You got to pay them like $1 a month to use their stock footage.
The kid and I find that for the Instagram when we're
So
looking at stuff.
it's an issue. So taking that back to the intellectual property, what's yours or not. Now you come across porn sites where one person is filming two people having sex or doing something. The one person goes, "It's my film, it's my property, and it's me."
Yeah, but you're putting out somebody else's shit.
Well, that's where they're losing the lawsuit. Is because the other person would have to consent. You put out a picture of a '69 red Mustang. The red Mustang does not have to give you consent.
Right.
But if you're putting something out there and you're even labeling it hidden camera, because that's how you want to get your views.
Right.
You are admitting the other person did not know.
That's not good.
No. So
what's going to happen though? How they can? I mean, it's out there in the world. Like, restitution. It's still going to? Video's still going to do.
I did read most of the article. I don't think it's to get any sort of restitution or payment. I think it's to pull them down and that whole category.
Hidden camera?
Yeah, you can't do that anymore. You got to do something else. You can't call it that. You can't post them anymore. I think it's just stopping the action from happening.
Seriously, I feel bad for the people that didn't know because now that video's like,
there,
like you said, it's like out.
You can't.
They'll never, even if they.
You'll never track them all down.
No, that's what I'm saying. I go kind of feel bad.
But the other part of the lawsuit or the suits that are happening was that what I was told when you read it and reading the article is that
I bet you were reading the article.
It's not
and looking at pictures.
I only look.
And he probably
I'm
went
only
on
there
Pornhub
for
and went
the articles.
To the hidden camera section, but he'll never
it's
admit
the articles.
But whatever.
Playboy
the
magazine
articles.
had some great articles back in the day.
Crossword puzzle too.
Crossword puzzles,
sure.
yeah.
Right.
So
I bet.
The idea was that you have to shut it all down, except there's the big sites that are out there Those
I
are the
don't know
ones-
about those.
Those are the ones they're targeting. But what about the 10,000 other sites that that are based in Singapore, that are based in, the Philippines? You're never going to get all those people to take their stuff down. So I don't know what they're going to do with it all, but
It's a worldwide problem.
it is. It's a gig.
Well, I'm glad you read the whole article. I just read the header on it. That was it, just to see what it was. And now you just admitted to reading the whole article.
I can read. I admitted I can read.
But it had pictures.
Well, they were blurred out,
Right.
You got to have just suggestive is what
And then
it
you
is.
had cross-reference, to make sure what
Well,
was
I got to
happening
check
was
the validity
true.
of the article. I
So
don't
you
just
had to
go
go
with
into Pornhub
one
to see
source.
exactly what they were talking
I talk about
right?
2 sources before I can ever comment on anything.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So you had to do some homework.
Well, I do my due diligence. I don't want to come
so
across.
you knew I was going to bring this subject up.
Had
then.
no idea.
You lied.
Not a chance.
You did.
No.
I don't know about that. All right. So while we were talking, did you think of a car story?
Oh, clearly the other part of my brain was digging deep for a car story. While you were,
What about?
I do got a story. It's not a dealership story. It's
Doesn't have to be.
It's a car story. All right. So
All right.
this one is a personal story.
Is it really? Aren't
No,
your,
I
aren't
just
your
do-
all dealership stories personal?
This isn't a dealership story.
Okay.
All right, so Grace Community Church is on Roscoe Boulevard, and there's big buildings built in their back parking lot now, but for a long time there wasn't. There was just parking lots
And parking lots.
And
parking lots.
basketball hoops, metal pole filled with concrete, chain net, public school style basketball hoops in this parking lot, and there was no little curbs. They did not have little,
Like
gray
bumper
concrete
curb, yeah.
curbs where you stop your car. The whole parking lot was empty. So we were the janitorial staff, myself and all my friends. There's like 7 or 8 of us,
How old were you?
16 or 17,
Oh, you were. Okay.
and we did the night shift. So we would work, from 8 o'clock at night till 2 or 3 in the morning, because this church you'd have to get everything set for the next day. Every day, this church had 70 or 80 different rooms in it. They all had to be cleaned every day and then set up differently for the next day's events, because it was a school and church functions. It was an ongoing thing. You constantly.
Sounds like a lot of work.
It was a ton. So we got done with our work one night. I was going to say it was about 1 in the morning, about then, maybe midnight.
Nothing
And we
good
had this-
happens after midnight.
1978 4-door extended bed Dodger blue Dodge truck. Big old Dodge truck, 3/4 ton.
I thought you said Ford.
No, it was a Dodge.
Okay.
Guarantee it was a Dodge. Big old Dodge truck.
Okay.
4-door, not Ford.
4-door. Okay,
4-door.
sorry.
4-door, long bed. And I don't know how we got started doing this, but we were
Hold
driving.
on a second. Whose was it? Do you remember?
Yeah, it belonged to Steve Austin.
Okay, so it was one of your buddies.
One of my buddies. Yeah, it was one of my friends.
And it wasn't a parent's truck.
No, it was his.
Okay.
And
Okay,
it used to
one-
belong to the church. He bought it from the church when they sold it,
Okay.
like the year before. And I don't know how this got started, but we were driving it around the parking lot. And one person was driving, and the other 7, 8, 9 of us were jumping in and out of it. It had a lumber rack on it, okay?
Okay.
And so this lumber rack, you could run alongside and jump up, grab the lumber rack, and pull yourself into the back
So
of
you're
the truck.
Pretending to be firemen.
I don't know what we're pretending to be. We're just goofing around. And so the radio's blaring, we're jumping in and out of the truck, but when you're standing in it, you can hang on to this lumber rack too.
Okay.
And so the driver starts jamming on the brakes. And if you're running along the back of it, you'd slam right into the tailgate. If you weren't holding on, standing in the back of the truck, you'd tumble towards the glass at the rear window.
that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was great.
Oh my God.
And we just kept doing it. And then all of a sudden, I think the guy's name was Ernie. He was driving the truck. He got all the way to the end of this parking lot. He turned the truck around and started going. He jumped out as the driver.
And it's still going?
Yeah, he just left it going.
Oh, God.
Now, at the other end of the parking lot is a wash, like a big concrete, 40-foot deep concrete on concrete.
What made him get out of the truck?
He thought it'd be funny. So some
but
of us...
no plan as to how we were going to...
No, he just jumps out. Now, a couple people were in the back. A couple
God.
people were running alongside. He wasn't going fast.
Doesn't matter.
He's going like 20 miles an hour. He just jumps out, leaves the door open. And so everybody's trying to race. The people in back are trying to climb up on top to slide in. People running alongside of it are trying to get in the door. I was on the passenger side thinking, okay, I can run and get the passenger door open and I can slide across there. I don't remember who. Somebody did it. It got in. So and steered it, and we were fine. So that became another aspect of the game. So now we're driving this thing around the parking lot, and we're intentionally whipping it to the left to try to knock people over, whipping it to the right to knock people over, jamming on the brakes so people run into it. And then all of a sudden, if you got to one end of the parking lot, you got out. Now the thing was to get back in, whoever was driving.
Before it goes in the wash?
Before it goes in the wash, yeah. Before this thing takes a nosedive and does, 40 feet down into the wash. So
oh, my God.
It'd have to run through a fence first, too. Go through the fence and over the gravel down the wash. So we just kept doing this. It was really fun. Then we started.
Sounds like a blast.
We started doing it to where we were revving the engine up. Like you goose it a little bit and make it run into someone. You'd glance off of them or do so.
Oh, God.
Somehow, John Chiaravalo got in the driver's seat. And John Chiaravalo is the lead singer of One in Rome. He's the guy fronting their band right now. And some of you may know him. So John's in there. And he is not paying attention.
Oh, Jesus.
He is running, driving. He's going way faster than anybody did before. He's driving mostly looking over his shoulder, laughing at what we're all doing because he's really hurting us. I had just was grabbing onto the back of the bed of the truck, and I was going to jump up on the bumper, and he sees me. He's looking over his shoulder. He sees me, and he floors it so that I can't grab it.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't let off the throttle, and he went right into one of the basketball poles. He hit that thing so hard, and I had grabbed onto the bed. I saw the pole coming, and I just let go in time.
Oh, God.
So I had no impact. I just was standing there. I just, came to a running stop. He hit that thing so hard, dead center. Both headlights were facing each other. Oh, yeah. He had bent that pole so far back in that the headlights were actually now pointed inward at each other.
Oh, man.
So now, this is a Saturday.
Was he okay?
I don't know, I guess. That wasn't what was important, man. The truck was what was important.
Okay.
So
that's hitting it pretty hard.
He hit it hard. And when he hit it, he was like shocked that he hit it. He didn't let off the gas. Like the back tires were still smoking, trying to go until he woke up like, oh shit, and then he lets go. But I mean, it hit it hard. So remember, it was Steve's truck.
Yes.
Steve just lost his mind. He goes up to, I think there's a 4-story building. Back at the time it was called the New Building. And he doesn't know what to think because he knows we're all going to get fired from the church, right? His parents are going to be pissed that he wrecked the truck, even though it was his, and he ain't got the money to fix it. So he goes up. The next thing, we're trying to see, we can't pull this thing. We can't get it off the pole. It's kind of wrapped around the pole. We can't get it off the pole. And Steve goes up to the top of the new building and sits with his legs over the top of the roof. I thought, oh shit, he's losing his mind. He was really upset by this. And I'm looking at him sitting up there. It's now it's like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going, I don't think Steve would ever jump. Steve's not that guy. But you just know that he is not in his right mind and he could fall. He's sitting, because we're janitors. We had all the keys to get everywhere, so he unlocked it all the way up, and he's sitting up there. Now I'm half trying to figure out how all of us can get this truck out of the parking lot before church starts in a few hours. And then I'm also looking at Steve going, please get off the roof. You got to come down off of there. Yeah. So we finally pull this thing off of there enough, and we don't have any way to get it anywhere. It won't move. It'll barely roll. So they snuck me at 2 o'clock in the morning all the way up to my grandparents' house in Latuna Canyon. I grabbed my 59 Ford pickup, which I was in the middle of working on. It wasn't quite done.
Okay.
And I drive it all the way down there. We hook up a tow strap to it. And John Chiaravalo only lived a couple streets away, a couple side streets. Like, okay, if we can get this thing across Roscoe Boulevard, major thoroughfare, if we can get it across Roscoe Boulevard, we'll be fine. We can get it in the neighborhood and we're good.
Just to get it out of the parking lot.
Just to get it out of the parking lot before church opened.
Yeah, but you would have had to practically drag this thing.
We were dragging it with my truck. So we're dragging this thing, and we get out, and there's a light there. So the light turns green, and there's not a lot of traffic. It's now 2:30 in the morning or so, and I'm taking off across the street. I'm flooring my 59 Ford, and I'm trying to drag this big old 3/4 broken Dodge truck, and we get it mostly across the intersection, and my truck under my dashboard catches on fire. I just remember smoke, and I'm like, why is there smoke? Well, my friend Glenn, who ended up being a firefighter, I think in the Army or the Navy for a while, he comes running up because I wasn't getting out of the truck. I was literally going, why is there smoke coming out from under my dash? Well, I didn't see the flames, and he did. He comes up and opens the passenger door, or the driver's door, yards me out onto the ground, and throws the thing in park, and he's trying to put it out with his jacket. I'm now on the ground looking up. I'm on Roscoe Boulevard looking up at my truck's catching on fire. Now I'm pissed that my truck's on fire.
Oh, God.
So he puts out the fire in my truck. My truck won't start again. Now my truck's sitting there completely screwed.
So now we got 2 trucks.
2 trucks. Now his truck is still leaking oil, leaking coolant all over the ground with a tow strap to an old primer gray 59 Ford truck that is now still smoldering on fire from under the dash. Now we've got like 2 hours to go before everybody starts showing up at the church, because now we're in front of the church in the main thoroughfare of Roscoe Boulevard, and we somehow got everything just across the street to the side street enough where we weren't blocking traffic. Now we're really screwed. Now everyone's panicking. Now John says, never mind, you're not bringing this stuff to my house. My parents will kill me. I'm like, well, what are we going to do with it? We can't, we're stuck. So we get in Glenn's 1969 baby blue Toyota Corona, and we drive back up to my grandparents' house, and we grab Lauren's. Lauren had gone in the Army, and I was watching for him his 69 red Mustang.
Oh, no, you didn't.
I did. So we take that Mustang down. Now it's like 3:30 or 4 in the morning.
Oh, God.
And we tie a tow strap to the front, I think the front frame of my truck, because the bumper was gone. And we take my truck first, the 59 Ford. We got to drag it like 10 miles through city streets in Los Angeles. And I had to teach them, listen, I'm pulling, you're braking. You have to brake for both of us. And like, okay, I got you. Now, if anybody's ever done this, you get it. But what happens is that when the person behind you is braking, if they're not paying attention, by the time they get done stopping, you're out in the middle of the intersection. I'm like, you have to stop me at the crosswalk. Pay attention. So we fumble through all that mess. Big, long story with those things. Nobody died. I didn't hit anybody. But we come up, and I turn the corner into my grandparents' driveway, kind of going fast because I'm pulling this truck with the Mustang. And I turn into the driveway. Glenn, who was behind me in my truck, I'm pulling the truck. I stop, and he can't stop. The brakes don't work.
Oh.
The brakes gave out completely as we got there. God. So instead of running into the back of the Mustang, he turns the wheel and hits the back of my grandparents' camper. I mean, like at 30 miles an hour at 4 in the morning. Boom! He hits the motorhome.
Good morning.
He hits this thing. We're undoing stuff like that. My grandparents come out and say, it's no big deal. It just is. Let's look at it. But when you're looking at it 4 in the morning from the house, it looks fine. You can't tell that we ran into the back of it. Uh-huh. And it did have a pretty big bumper, so it wasn't messed up too bad. I said, just go back to sleep. Everything's fine. I got this under control.
Right.
And they're like, what do you do? I said, we're just trying to figure some stuff out here. I'm coming back home in a minute and we can go to bed. So we go back down, and then we get the Dodge, and my Mustang has to tow this Dodge, the same trek of 10 miles up this canyon. And this time I go, park it in the street. Don't come in the driveway. Just park it in the street. So we drag this thing up there. We park it where it's supposed to go. We all pile in the last 2 cars, drive back to the church. Now sunrise is coming up, and we are trying to clean up all the oil and glass and coolant. And we can't fix the bent pole, but you really couldn't tell that much. It looked okay. And we got everything cleaned up right as the elders got to the church in the morning. And they see us out there in our uniforms cleaning up. And you know what they did is they started walking out there. And I remember 1 or 2 of us walked over, and I'm like, just let me handle this. Let me I'll talk us through this. And I don't know what I'm going to say. they walk up and they go, wow, you guys are really dedicated. You even cleaned the parking lot before church. You got the whole church set up for Sunday, and you even make sure that the park say, yeah, we found some glass and some oil, and we're just taking care of it for you. We're not even on the clock right now. We're not getting paid for this. We're just doing this. He's like,
God.
You guys are great. And that was the beginning of a much longer story on how the truck got smashed and we were all dicking around, and yeah.
Again, nothing good happens after midnight.
That's the way I remember it. Give or take a lie or two. Because Wyatt Earp used to say that. I think that's a great way to end every story. Like Wyatt Earp would say, that's the way I remember it. Give or take a lie or two.
God.
That happened.
That's a good car story.
You can ask anybody who's there. I probably missed some stuff that was going on.
Probably.
But I got the major parts of it right.
Does John's sister know about those?
Yeah, she knows both of his sisters know a ton of stories. That's one reason I don't like it when Tori Randolph comes on the comment section on live streams, because she could bring up stuff, or her sister Ann could really bring up stuff that would pin me down. I'd have to end the live stream. I can't tell any more stories about that.
I think I need to go have lunch with those two.
No, you do not. You
I think I do.
Absolutely do not.
I think I need to call them up and take a little trip and go have some
I'd rather you didn't.
one-on-one time.
I really would rather you didn't. Some of the most embarrassing stories of my life
keep telling
had
me.
to do with that group of people.
Keep encouraging me
And
to go.
his sisters were just on the fringe watching the whole thing go down. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
True story. That's the way it happened.
Thanks, jeez. You guys are all alive.
That's not really a dealership story, but
No, it doesn't have to be. It's a car story.
it is a car story.
Stupid teenage boys.
We spent forever fixing. I had to pull all the wiring out of my truck and rewire it because it caught on fire. We had to go through we tore down so much stuff on that truck. We rebuilt it right on the side of the road, 10454 Latuna Canyon Road.
Was the engine okay, or did you have to replace the engine?
No, the engine was okay. Just all the front of it got smashed. We had to replace pretty much everything in the front of it that was attached to it. Water pump, alternator, power steering, all the stuff was
Oh,
gone.
my goodness.
But we got it. We did it. We were a bunch of kids, man. We stay up till 2 a.m. listening to KRS 101 and going to In-N-Out Burger. A lot of summer nights got that stuff done.
Lots
we got
of
it
ins
fixed.
and outs.
Lots of ins and outs, lots of wherefores and what have yous. Yeah, that's how it happened.
That was a good story. I liked it.
See?
Thank you.
Okay, so technically, I have now saved the podcast because it was a horrible podcast.
Shut up.
Nobody wanted to hear all that stuff in the beginning. I have saved the podcast.
Okay.
True
I'll
story.
just let you think that because you're full of shit. Whatever. Are we done today?
I don't know. I had some stuff written down, but I don't know where it is.
You wrote down stuff?
I did.
Because you're getting old?
You didn't even look at what I wrote down. I made sure nothing was in pink today, sweetheart.
I
made
noticed.
sure all of your stuff was in red. It was just a couple sentences here and there. But don't worry, Your Majesty, they weren't in pink. They were in red.
Because pink is pink and red is red. I even asked our granddaughter,
Yeah.
is pink red? And she goes, no, pink is pink. Our
Okay.
5-year-old granddaughter
Okay.
says that.
Clearly, she's the authority around here. Okay.
She is.
So let me ask you this. If I have a Crayola color and it's light red, what would you call it?
Light red.
They have a name for light red.
No, it's called light red.
It's called pink.
No, you're wrong.
That's what it's for. Have you never seen Red versus Blue? Do you not understand Red versus Blue and Halo?
I've seen it multiple times.
All right, then. That's where I draw my information from.
Oh, yeah, because that's the know-all.
That's an authority on stuff, man. Rooster Teeth Productions. They don't lie. They're good stuff.
Okay, good.
All right. How long have we been on? You got to guess.
Oh, I'm yawning. I'm tired.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, from now on, what'd you say?
Hour 6 minutes.
It was an hour 6 and 40 when you said that.
I rock.
It's going to be different when
And I'm looking at you the whole
when
time.
I add an intro, it's going to change the time.
That's okay.
But on my time for audio recording, yeah, you hit it right on the money.
I'm feeling it.
That's 2 weeks in a row. You're back in your mojo for
I
sure.
am feeling good.
So is there
good.
anything we're supposed to announce? Like we're doing something or being something? I know we got January 27th. We're going to be in Las Vegas. Big Gen X Talks reunion. Big 3rd anniversary. This is 27th, right? January 27th. I get that right?
Saturday night.
We're getting that all lined up at the Red Rock. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep.
And-
Information will be on the website.
Yeah, as it comes in, we'll put it out there. I don't think we have any other appearances between now and Christmas, do
No,
we?
because it's pretty busy.
It does get busy. And I think that was it. I think,
So I'm
other
free to
than-
leave?
Other than we're doing a cooking show at once a month. That's the deal, right? Every last
A big
Wednesday.
show /
A big show.
Yeah, they want the big show to come back.
I couldn't believe how many people remembered the big show.
I know. So they wanted. So I was debating about maybe we should do a big show for November, but that's for discussion. So
Well, either way, the last Wednesday of every month, we're doing either a big show or a cooking show, something like that.
Yeah.
All right. And I think that's about it. I don't think I have anything else to.
All right, good.
That's it. Other than the interviews are coming, and the KGXT studios should be up and running full-fledged by January 1st.
you sure?
Because I'm pulling the trigger. Also, I need you to go. You either need to cash in your 401k, or you're going to have to take just a small second loan out on the house.
No.
You didn't even ask. You're just saying no. We haven't even discussed it
No.
yet. Listen, the studio is really important, and I don't mind.
You have a studio. You're sitting in it.
Well, the radio station is important, and I think it's worth going in debt over. I
Well,
really do.
no. Then you offer up one of your buildings.
No.
Oh, I see how this goes.
I'm prepared to give your stuff away.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. All right, everyone. I am out
that's
for
it.
today, this week. Thank you for listening. And I don't think it was boring at all, but, who am I?
You know what? I made one critical mistake.
What's that?
I never put the camera on you the whole time.
Oh, good.
I didn't change. I can't believe I didn't change. I never looked at the screen, so the camera was on me the whole time, which means there's going to be no video production. That's just going to be audio. Wow. I can't believe I boneheaded that one. That was stupid. See, there she is. Now you see her one time now, but I fucked that whole thing up. All right, I got to wrap up. I got to get out of here. Plus, I have to edit this, and I got to do all the stuff and get ready for you fine folks for the morning. I'm sorry the podcast sucked until the very end when I came in and saved the day with a colorful story from my past. Thank you guys for tuning in around the planet, AM, FM, Sirius, XM, or perhaps you're listening on the Armed Service Radio Network. Remember one of two things. Wherever you go, there you are. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side.